very learned panel looking for a very informative technological discussion as we go along. And I think I will just introduce the panel as I ask the question. Let me start off with Vipul Babu.
Future quickly. So as we speak, polyethylene as a molecule, it 85 years. It is 85 years since first commercial polyethylene was made. And not many molecules continue to evolve. So polyethylene is one molecule which has continued to evolve and it's still evolving and meeting the challenging needs of the industry. So if you look at from the packaging industry or a flexible packaging industry perspective, for many years, linear polyethylenes, which have seen the innovations because of process and the catalyst, have remained range bound in terms of densities and MFIs. So typically you will see products mostly ranging from 920 in density to 960 in density. And when it comes to MI, you would have typically 1 MI to say 50 MI. But with advancement in catalyst, with
back in the history, you look at the first packaging failure in terms of the films in the history. So that's long time back when the Sagar Manthan took place and Lord Garuda was carrying the vessel of Amrit and then it spilled on the way. I think that was the first packaging failure. I don't know who was the polymer manufacturer at that point of time. So we had the benefit of Mahakumbh, but now that kind of a liberty is not there with the manufacturers like us. So as a polymer producer, I think there are three tracks most of us are following. One is the first sustainability part of it, then the biodegradability part of it. And third is some of the customer-driven innovations which are happening in the field. So if we talk about biodegradable and compostable things, we have heard a lot about it. So materials coming out of PLA or PHA.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ajay, for the kind introduction. Yes, we are going to produce a couple specialty products in our ambitious and upcoming refining petrochemicals complex, that is HRRL in Badmer, Rajasthan, which has been termed as the jewel of the desert by the Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas. In today's perspective, everybody is talking about the difficulties of recycling of the multi-layer films because of its heterogeneity in nature in terms of the different type of polymers produced. So in view of that, I believe there is a need of search for the Holy Grail. And in that context, I believe the BOPE, that is biaxially oriented polyethylene, could be one of the Holy Grails. All PE, multi-layered BOPE could be one of the very promising.
Form the backbone of modern flexible packaging, because most of modern flexible packaging, directly or indirectly, is in some shape or form going into food contact applications. So as a result of this, master batches, the dosages might be small, but the impact on the properties and the impact on these regulations and the chemicals used is very significant. In terms for this, if you look at the global bodies which make the food contact regulations, in particular the US FDA and REACH, they lead the mission to create more sound regulations for foodstuff chemicals. And in particular, REACH comes up with basically new regulations or updated versions of regulations every 3 to 4 months. And then you have to work in sync with them. And in sync,
I think some of the panelists earlier mentioned about the improvements in the raw materials, the polymers itself. I think the starting point, of course, in the main structure is the polymer. And with those improvements, I think that really helps in terms of what master batches you do. But master batches themselves, the additive master batches that can be developed now, is also helping in down-gauging the film. We can improve the coefficient of friction. A lot of the properties that are required, reducing the gels, some of the issues that the earlier panelists mentioned, is something that master batch can now offer those solutions. Again, it's a collaboration that needs to be done with the raw material supplier, with the polymer manufacturer, and the master batch producer to offer these solutions. Even BOPE that Mr. Chaudhuri mentioned earlier, we're seeing those films also now being produced. There are master batch solutions also for BOPE films that have been developed now. And I think with these, we should be able to kind of help the industry in down gauging and also improving the system.
Is essentially about sustainability and environmental good products. So we've got to understand who are the stakeholders in this whole chain. And Sakata being a process-driven industry, a company, you know, we clearly identify that there are three stakeholders in this industry. One, of course, is the government, which is a major player, which is driving the sustainability part and recyclability part of it. Second happens to be the industry itself, the flexible packaging industry, which has been very vocal about what is possible, what is not possible. And of course, third is, as we heard about, the consumers. So we take all the three aspects into consideration when we are developing or doing a lot of innovation around our solutions. So let me go
Good
one
afternoon to the esteemed audience. I hope all of you are having a wonderful time at this fabulous event. Special thanks to Nidhi to give me this opportunity again to talk about my favorite topic besides Vipul, besides golf, which is EVOH. You know, nowadays it's become very fashionable. It's very easy to blame plastics. At the same time, it's very difficult to do away with plastics. But there is a case for little is a lot more, or sometimes even a lot more. That's what EVOH does. What EVOH does is, EVOH as a barrier resin is hardly used about 5% or sometimes less than 5% in a multi-layer barrier structure as a barrier material because of its superlative barrier properties. In most developed worlds, EVOH is, because it's less than 5% or even sometimes less than that, it's been classified as monomaterial.